Well, good evening, friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live one-on-one. And guys, today there are no comics to share with you. That's right. I'm sorry to tell you, no comics are here. I have 2 or 3 boxes en route as we speak. I think one's going to arrive tomorrow, actually, but not in time for the show. That's going to happen from time to time. But I did want to come on here, at least for a little while, because last week, as you know, I did a canned show because the doc was feeling under the weather. So I did a canned show. It was a really quick show. I heard a lot of comments from all of you guys. Holy cow, man, 10 minutes? What's up with that? You know, when you're not feeling good, you know, at least I put a show together, guys. I still wanted people to see what books were coming in. But today I want to talk to everybody about, here we go again. I don't want to do it. I don't want to bash on CGC. It's not what I want to do. I'm going to try to keep an open mind here. Give them the benefit of the doubt. A couple of, I don't know if you want to call these CPRs, crack press, or I guess they are CPRs in a way, but not in the traditional sense, I guess you could say. Guys, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And usually on Tuesday nights at this time, I do a live show and tell and show off comic books coming back from CGC that belong to my amazing clients. But again, this week, we're going to forego that. And we'll be back next Tuesday to do just that. But today we're going to talk a little bit about a little something that happened over at CGC over the last several weeks. And I want to come on here and share it with you. Get your take on it. Guys, you'll notice I have a chat room going on there. I got some guys already here. Lord Thoth is there. Lord Thoth on a Tuesday night. Great to see you. My trusty moderator, as well as several others are here. So you know what? If you have any questions or comments that pertain to what I'm showing you tonight, I'd love to hear your feedback. What's your take on all this? I'll give you my 2 cents worth towards the end because, you know, anyways, let's get right to it. Okay. All right. So the story goes, we'll start with the Forever People. You saw I had 2 images in my thumbnail. One's a Forever People, number 1, DC comic from 1971, first full appearance of Darkseid, and the other is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1 magazine, 3rd printing. Let's talk about the Forever People first, okay? So this is how the story goes. It's Jason's book. Hi, Jason, if you're watching. So Jason gives me this book quite a while ago. We anticipate a pretty high grade because the book was really, really nice. It had some, moderate, wear, but we gave it a good cleaning, a good pressing. We sent it away. We were both thinking this book was going to come back north of 9. The book came back a 7.5. Haven't sent this back yet, but I wanted to do this video, so I want to show it to you. So the label comes back a 7.5. We were both a little perplexed by that. So we take a look at the, let me get this here. We take a look at the grader's notes, and this is the actual, right here. No, there. Oh, I hate this. I hate this reverse thing. There's the grader's notes right there beside me, guys. And it says, if you can read it, it's kind of blurry. It says, crease bottom of front cover, light creasing to cover. Okay, light creasing to cover is one we often see, but crease bottom of front cover. So me and Jason are looking and tilting the slab. I'm sure you've all been there. We're tilting the slab, trying to find this crease, and for the love of which we can't see it. Finally, the light hits it in just a way, and sure enough, I see a little divot at the bottom, maybe a crease that's about 2.5 inches long at the bottom of the book. And the book was picked up on Saturday, so unfortunately, I can't show that to you. I didn't have pictures either. Anyways, so what are we going to do? We're going to crack it and reset. So CPR, we're going to crack it, repress it, regrade it. So we did that, and let me see here if I can get this going for a slideshow. We did that, and no, wrong one. And bang, 9.2. We get a 9.2. From a 7.5, we get a 9.2. Now, you might have saw this on my Instagram. I posted this one recently. The question is this, and I say this all the time. You guys hire me and my team to press your books and make them look as good as possible before the grader gets their mitts on them. And we take that very seriously. The books leave our shop in as perfect condition as these books can be prior to shipment. So much so that every single book receives a new bag. Every single book receives a nice thick 56-point board, sometimes a 56-point board and a 28-point board to really make it just pop and to give it as much strength and rigidity as it can take for its journey to CGC. Now, once it leaves my hands, and we've had this conversation before, my friends, what FedEx does with the box and what CGC receiving department does with the box is out of my control. I can't do anything about that. But obviously, the original copy of this book, this Forever People #1, which received a 7.5, something happened. Something happened in this book that caused a crease down by that by the woman there, the bottom of the book, by the time in between the tire and the lady there is where the crease was. So we pressed it, we sent it back. The book comes back in 9.2. I lost my mic. Oh my gosh, how long? Hi, guys. That's fantastic that I've been totally muted this whole time. I love when I do that. I've been going for about almost 15 minutes. How much of this did you guys get? Okay, I'm going to move my no sound, the strong silent type. Oh, man, I tell you, maybe I got to do these canned videos, these live videos. I'm just one guy. Normally he looks at chat. Oh, you guys are making fun of me. No, you're not making fun of me. Cameron Summers, he'll be crushed. Yes, Cameron, I am crushed. I'm freaking crushed. Mike's laughing. Everyone's laughing. I was noticing all those big emojis. Oh boy, I must be really moving them with my stories. Warren, I was watching the game too. How are they doing now? Oh, someone was trying to call me to tell me my sound was off. I bet you $100. Let's see. Let me see if someone was calling to tell me my sound was off. Bart. Oh my God, you guys are fantastic. Look at this. Marco, Stavros, Michael, everybody. No sound. James. I was wondering why my phone. Who the hell's calling me? My phone. All right. Guys, like my video just for that alone. I feel like such an idiot right now. Okay. So how far do we get? Michael Van Delft gives me a $7 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Michael, I'm a moron. Thanks, Mike. I'm a moron. Thank you. Okay, so how far do we get? We lost way before TMNT. Start from TMNT number 1. Okay. Jeez, I'm a yo-yo. Okay. Here we go again. So, oh my God, I got to backtrack. So basically, guys, it's like this. So the Forever People. Okay, so we'll go from that. Okay, so Steve gives me a copy of, and I'll go back to I'm making sure my mic is freaking up. So wonder my phone is going off. My phone is buzzing like crazy. Who the hell would buzz me during my stream? And it was constant. It was all you guys who have my phone number. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate that. And thanks, Mike, for the $7 super chat to kind of make it less painful. All right. So again, let's get back. Let me get the slideshow up. All right. So here we go. Steve, okay, so essentially you guys heard the whole story about the Forever People number 1. That's fantastic. Things like that happen, right? Books get damaged sometimes. It happens. What are you going to do? When it's a blue moon, you deal with it. You take the book, you crack it, you fix it, you send it back. Look at that. We go from a 7.5 right back up to a 9.2. Excellent. Well, didn't happen this time. 9.2 copy of TMNT number 1, third printing, belongs to Steve. He gets it back initially as a 9.2. The thing is smashed to smithereens. If I remember correctly, it was smashed pretty good, or a big chunk of it was smashed. I took it, I sent it right back to CGC to get it reslabbed. It took what seemed like months to get it back. We finally get it back, and it's a 9.2. And I'll be honest, now, Steve was thinking he was going to get a 9.4, 9.6 in this book. I thought 9.2, 9.4. So the book to me was in the right place. But nonetheless, whatever. He was okay. Get my book back to me. I sent it right back. As soon as it came back from CGC from being reslabbed, I got it in a box and I shipped it right away because he's been waiting so damn long. And I felt bad. So I shipped the book right back to him. And within a day, he's upset. He's very upset. Kevin, look at this. And so he sends me a picture of this. And I joined his... I joined him as well. Have a look at this with the little yellow line is you're going to see a finger dent. Right at the top of the book, you're going to see a finger dent. And I didn't notice it. I'll be honest. When the book came back, the first time it was all smashed up. I just did the paperwork and shipped it right back. And then when it came back from CGC, I just wanted to get the book right back to him as soon as possible. So I threw it into a box and I shipped it back, 1-day delivery, and he got it. And then this is what he noticed. And my heart dropped. So then the question is this. Did this damage happen to the book prior to being graded or after being graded? That is the question, right? That is the question. So regardless, he was very upset. Don't you guys press your books? Don't you guys, and he's upset and I understand it. I'm like, Steve, I'm telling you, I don't ship books to CGC looking like this. That's why you bring them to me. The books are as good as they're going to possibly be before I ship them off to CGC. So I said, send it back. Send it back. We'll fix it all up. And months have gone by now, right, since the initial submission. So the 14 days had elapsed. And so I said, look, just give it back to me. I'll take care of it. We'll make it good. So we get it back. We press it. It looks fantastic. Again, I took pictures, showed them the pictures of the damage now gone. I ship it off to CGC. We wait another month or so, and the book comes back. And here it is. It comes back. And you guys already saw this, but I'll show it to you again. It comes back a 9. So it goes down. Okay, it went down. Then I'm like, why? Why did it go down? And then I look at the book closely and I start seeing stuff. And I'm going to go to the full screen so you guys can see this. And I'll show it to you again. Check out the area right here. I'm going to show you this area here. And then I'm going to show you the area down in this area here. Look at the damage on this book now. If the light will hit it the right way. There, right there. See where it says Lairds? Look above the Lairds. Look at that. What the hell is that? Giant dent on the book. And then if you go down a little bit, right there, by my hand, right here. I'll move it over a bit so you can see. I know it's kind of glary. I do it there, right there. Right there. Right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Right there. See that? The question again, when did this happen? Before the book was graded or after the book was graded? Forever People #1, Amazing Spider-Man 361. If you recall, I had 3 copies of ASM 361. 2 of them look great, but all 3 were 9.8. Obviously, the damage happened after the grading in that case because all the books were 9.8. I shipped the ASM 361 back to get pressed and clean. Not clean, but pressed by CGC. I just got it back, by the way. It's here. And it's fixed. They pressed it. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing with this now. Now I got to send an email to them, explain the entire story to them, show them all the pictures, and they're going to say, send the book back, and it's going to go to CCS, and they're going to press it, and hopefully the grade goes up to 9.2 or 9.4. And maybe they'll give me some money back, because that last time I sent it, I paid for everything. I paid to have it regraded, I paid to have it repressed, I paid to have it shipped. You know, that's customer service, I guess, guys. It comes with the territory. I have no problem doing that. It's going to make Steve happy. I'm going to do it. But then to get that back like that is like a kick in the gut, right? That's what I was going to ask, guys. What do I do? What do you think? What's happening over at CGC? Is it just a lack of care? Like, what's up with this? You know, what are we supposed to do? This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, it's a big company. A lot of hands are touching these books. You know, and I know that when we send our books there, this shit can happen. We know it. If you don't want this stuff to happen to your books, just don't send your books. And I said it before, CGC puts a little mark, little tab when I'm submitting, and it says, shit can happen to your books. And we sign off on it. So really, they could just say, too bad, so sad, man. That comes with the territory. You signed off on it. You knew your books could be damaged when sent here. They won't do that. They'll take care of us. I know they will, but it's just a lot of work to get them to take care of us. The other thing I could do is crack it out again, press it for like the millionth time and ship it back. But no, I'm not doing it. Now I'm going to put it on them. Let's go over to the chat room, guys, and see what you think. What's going on over at CGC? Why is this happening constantly now? It's becoming, and they screwed up today again. They sent me a bunch of books in error. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating working with this company. By the way, I said hello to everybody. I'm not going to go back and do that again, but everybody in the beginning of the chat, I did say hi while I was muted. All right. Let's go and see what you guys have to say about this area now. And again, thanks to everybody who phoned me and was texting me to tell me my sound was off. Maybe I should have just, stopped for a second. Marco says, okay, so Kevin. Yeah, keep my finger away from the silent button. Exactly. David says, keep your fingers away from the silent button, the mute button. You're right. Eggplant says, don't hit the mic again. I won't. Best stream ever. Thanks, Stavros Hector. Kevin, will CGC authorized dealer payment change affect you? Basically, you have to pay with your account now. Will CGC authorized dealer payment change affect you? Basically, you have to pay your account now for any discounts. What do you mean? Is something changed in the last, Hector? Did something change in the last 24 hours? Because now you got me concerned. CGC changed the dealer. They charge dealers to have accounts, which I think is absolutely stupid, but they do. And now dealers get 25% off. And I pass those savings on to you to some extent, not completely. If I can't make 20%, I'm not doing the work. It's a lot of friggin' work. Yeah, and I did say even on here, when they made the changes, I'm going to see how things go. I know I'm the cheapest for CGC grading, at least in Ontario. I can't speak to the rest of Canada. I know when it comes to grading books here in this province, I am the cheapest. A lot of guys did not pass on those savings. They just kept their prices the way they were. I was going to do that. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. I brought my prices back down again because, you know, it's friggin' expensive. But if I can make about 20 points, I'm happy for now. We'll see. But I don't know, Hector. I got to look into that now. It got me concerned. Spartacus says, oh, my God. Yes. Are we sure it's even the same book at this point? It is the same book. It does have an issue, this book. It is the same book, 100%. On the back of the book, there is a little crunch. There's a little crunch over here on the book. And that's why I thought this book would never get more than a 9.2, to be honest. And it's still there. So that, yeah, it's the same book. Luke's, yeah, even worse now. It does look terrible. That's right. David Clark, Jesus Christ, can't they get anything right consistently? Well, yeah, it'd be nice. Hector, would be cool to have a way to mark our books before submitting, like UV mark or something. LOL. You mean like to have CGC put a UV mark on them? There's been talk of that. No one's going to want their books to be altered anyway. There was talk of that when the scandal happened. They should put some kind of UV marking on the book. But then you're adding ink of some kind to the book. People don't want to do that. Steven, I'm the Steve. CGC is so frustrating. Steven, welcome, my friend. Yes, that is Steven in the chat. This is his book that we are dealing with. And Steve, when you get a second, please send any pictures in a zip file you might have. I want to compile that or get that email written and shipped off to them by Friday of this week. Sooner we get moving on, the sooner we can get it there and back again. Astro, CGC posted a video on Instagram highlighting one of the graders, and it wasn't. Oh, okay. Are you talking about the guy holding the books like a stack? He was holding the books like this, like holding a stack of books and flipping through them really haphazardly. If that's the video you're talking about, yeah, I saw that, and yeah, I wasn't very impressed with that. That was ridiculous. Your hands are tied. Well, they can be tied. You know, they do make you sign off on it. Listen, when CGC does these, like I said before, why do I use CGC? I don't use the other guys. Why do I keep going back to them? Well, they're the industry standard. Whether you like it or not, because people hate it, people love it, they're the industry standard. All the big auction houses use them. Excuse me. And they, as frustrating as their mistakes are, they do. If you are persistent, and I'll use that word persistent, they will take care of you. They still owe me a couple of bucks for a shipment they screwed up to Bart, and I think Bart's out there still. I don't know if Bart's still there or not. And I just didn't get around to sending in the email. I just got tired. At that time, even Bart's still waiting for a refund from them as well. It's just a lot of work to keep on top of their mistakes. And it's almost like I got to hire someone to deal with CGC, and I can't afford to do that. The reason why my prices are the way they are is because I'm doing everything. Like, I'm doing all the CGC submissions. I'm dealing with CGC. I'm shipping to CGC. I'm receiving them from CGC. I'm mailing out all your books myself. It's me. And that's why when the books come back and you don't get your books like in a day shipped to you, it's because I do like full day shipment days. I take a day and I just ship books. And so I don't do it every week. I wait till I have like about 10 orders and then I ship them, because it makes a mess. Like, this whole room becomes a shipping nightmare, to be honest. I always thought I'd have room at the shop to do that. My shop, as you know, if you guys who visited, it's already full. I don't have room for a shipping spot. I wish I did. Spartacus says, how many books do you ship to CGC based on your volume and other comic shippers? You should get a personal. Thank you. Good idea. Tell them that from your typewriter to their friggin' ears. I've been saying that forever. Every time I deal with CGC, I got to talk to somebody new, introduce myself all over again, and be treated like I'm just a regular Joe until they realize, oh, this guy's he spent a lot of money with us. We better treat him a little bit better. Like, do they treat me really good? I don't know. I'm waiting to hear back from my accountant. My year end is coming up. I want to see how much I spent with CGC last year. I got a feeling it's over 150K with CGC last year in grading. I think it's well over 150K. It's crazy. But again, that might sound like a lot of money to you and me, but to Heritage, to Comic Link, that's probably they do 150K in a month or two, probably, right? I'm doing it in a year, so still a lot. Don't get me wrong. And honestly, it would be really nice to have just a personal rep to work with, but that's never going to happen. Hector says CGC should really have a different process and special slab for high value books. Or just how about take care of the books, like handle the books. How about teach your people to handle the books better? That I'm going to tell you, that book did not leave my shop looking like that. So, and I don't think that happened in shipping. I just don't. Not the way I pack them. And the way that is so in the one corner like that, that was somebody mishandling that book. That's all there is to it. John says, CGC are never accountable once it's encapsulated. It's unfortunate when one company dominates the industry. You're right. That's why we do need some competition. It helps keep them honest, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Eggplant says, check the CGC news page. CGC won't accept customer payment under dealer accounts. Oh, I don't do that. Yeah, I pay for everything myself. So that's a new thing. So CGC won't accept customer payment under dealer accounts. Yeah, I haven't done that. I've never done that. I've always... How do you think my flights to California this summer are being paid? By my Visa, which every single CGC... Guys, that's why I ask. And a lot of you... And listen... And I know, again, this is me being, maybe I'm a dummy. I don't know. Like, most guys, when you send your books to CGC, want to be paid up front, right? When you send your books to a presser, I know a lot of these guys have online submission forms. Yeah, they'll take your books. You got to give them your Visa number right away. I don't ask for that. You give me your books. I trust that I've got your books, so you're not going to screw me, I wouldn't think. And so why, and if I'm not doing your books right away, why am I going to take payment for something I'm not going to do for a month or two or three? So I don't ask for payment until we get to your books. And in fact, I don't charge clients until the books ship to CGC. Why do I do that? Because once they arrive at CGC, they bill me. They actually ring through my Visa. So can you imagine if I'm sending 500 books a month to CGC or 600 books a month? Yeah, the bill's pretty big. And there's been a couple of big bills this last few months. I've sent her a couple of really big orders with like high value books. So the bill is massive. So I asked to be paid because I've been billed and I need to pay it off my Visa. And it's cyclical, right? I'm always sending books in, and I don't have $1 million, thank God, I don't have $1 million credit limit on my Visa, right? It's maxed out at a certain point. So I got to be careful I don't get close to that. It's pretty good, don't get me wrong, but it's not even 100,000. So I got to be very careful. I got to pay off this stuff. So that's why I always ask for payment once the books ship to CGC, because I'm being billed by CGC. That's the only reason. A couple of guys recently, I don't want to pay you until I pick up my books. I go, well, you know what? Then next time, don't give me your books, because and I always tell people I bill you when the books arrive at CGC. So Hector, if that's what you're talking about not being able to use, like what a lot of guys and some of my friends in the States who are pressers, what they'll do is they'll take their customers' visas and they'll bill their customers' visas. I never want to handle people's visas. I never wanted to do that. So I never got into that. That's why I didn't. So if that's what the news is, it doesn't affect me because I've always done it this way anyways. But going back to people not wanting to pay until they receive their books, that's great and everything, but I'm on the hook for the money. I've got all the money out on your books right now. I need to get paid. So in future, people start doing that. I'll tell you, if more people do this to me, because I've been put on the hook the last couple of weeks with a few orders I'm covering right now. And let me tell you, 95% of the people, actually 98% of the people don't have a problem. They know me, they work with me, they see I'm on here. I've been doing this for well over 10 years. I'm not going anywhere. And they pay. but there's a few that don't. And when that happens, it affects me, right? It slows me down. And if it does happen, unfortunately, frequently, if it keeps going on that way, I'm going to have to start charging people as soon as the books come to me. I will not work on a book until I'm paid. I don't want to do that. But what is it? Always the few always make it crappy for the rest, for the many, right? Unfortunately. But anyways, as of May 1st, the red pilled vegan. That's one reason why I'm not sending any book CGC anytime soon. It's very disheartening. It's very disheartening. Yes, authorized users would share account to people and they paid, not dealer. They made a change where dealer. Yeah, okay. You know what? I don't mind that though. You know why I don't mind that either? It gets rid of a lot of, how can I say this? Fly-by-nighters, right? Look, I'm serious, guys, about this. You know, again, guys, a lot of you people on here, my clients, love you guys. I've known you for a very long time. And I appreciate your constant business and your interactions and being here. And, you know, I have no problem doing this. And when I set out to do this business, I set out to do it right. And everybody has their own dossier. I'll take care of the payments. You pay me later. Don't worry about it. It just made things, it seemed to make things a lot easier. And I built up a credit where I can afford to send in a lot of books. Now, if someone's got bad credit or someone doesn't have the credit to cover 500-600 books a month, then guess what? They're not sending books to CGC anymore. And that will hopefully weed out some of the fly-by-night. I call them the fly-by-nighters, guys who want to get into it and they don't even know what they're doing. You know, this will kind of clean them out. So that's okay by me. Am I being cynical? I think it's a good thing. This is my grail. Make it right, CGC. My exactly. Cry emoji. No, it's a new Instagram video he was referring to. Oh, I got to check that one out too. Well, the last video I saw on YouTube had me really scared. The guy at CGC was mishandling the books, but he was being a little rough with a lot of books. And yeah, I thought that was kind of a stupid thing to put on to show people that you're handling books, like quantities of book in such a rough way. I was really shocked to see that. When you handle millions of books, you must just not take their time. They rush in. And that's, Stavros, I think you hit the nail on the head. I've always said this. It's a machine over there. The sheer amount of books are getting in. They're trying to get through these books. And when you rush, you make mistakes. It's simple as that. That's what I think happens. And again, and I've made this comment before in the show, you guys here and me, I got 48 guys watching right now with me. We're all comic book geeks and nerds. We've been handling comics since we were probably 12 years old or younger. We know how to handle them. We know how to, in such a way that they're not going to get damaged, you know, and if you're hiring newbies that don't handle comics or have never handled comics before, then you are running the risk of getting guys who just are mishandling the books because they don't know how to position their hands. They don't know how to properly, anyways. And then they're going to put it in that inner well. I think the damage happened when they're trying to put that book in the inner well. However, going back to this picture here, where is it? I think this picture right here, I think the dude pulled the book out of the sleeve and he put his thumb on it and he yanked it out of the sleeve. That's what I think. That's what it looks like to me. What do you think? And I wouldn't be surprised if they graded that book a 9.2 with that dent, because there's no mention of that dent, by the way. When I looked up the grader's notes, they don't mention that dent. So that was probably done after being graded. And again, just grabbing the book in an inappropriate way, in an improper way, causing that damage that we tried to fix, that we did fix, and now more damage, right? More damage. You can sign off on anything. You still can't be negligent, especially with U.S. law. Again, is it negligent? Is it negligent? They didn't destroy the book, but yeah, I mean, maybe it is negligent, I guess. I don't know. David Clark, who is the rep you've discussed things with at CGC? I've talked to Jose a couple of times and that Barbara H once. Well, David, Jose is no longer there. I found out. Jose and Barbara are in accounting. They're accounting. They're not even reps. And Jose, as far as I know, I was told recently, Jose is gone. Jose is gone. I don't know if he left or quit, whatever, but he's no longer there. But Barbara's now in the accounting office. Maybe a disclaimer on submission form. Oh, they have disclaimers all over the submission forms. that this stuff can happen. Marco, one of the problems at CGC is to pay CSRs and warehouse people minimum wage, yes, or just above. You need to pay people to care, and that's it, right? But then, you know, what's the bottom line? You know, can you imagine what their payroll is like at that place? You know, if people still think that they have 3 people grading a book at a time, every one book, you got to be smoking something, because there's no bloody way 3 people are grading these books. That would take forever. Now, at the comic doctor's office, you get 2 or 3 people looking at your books. I can guarantee it. I look at every single book that goes through. I look at. The only ones that aren't looked at by more than one person are the books I work on. I guess maybe I've done it long enough, guys. I get them done, they go. But any book that Napur works on, any book that Charlo works on, and they usually look at each other's books too. So usually you have 2 or 3 people eyeballing your books. And that's what Steve, when your book was worked on, Charlo did your book. I approved that book. And then when it was done again a second time, we both worked on it, and then off it goes, right? So the books are given the care they deserve. But again, once the books leave, short of getting in a truck and driving them down to Sarasota myself, my God, can you imagine what I would charge at that point? Yeah, not much we can do. Not much we can do. So anyways, guys, there you go. I do apologize for that stupid muting early on. Maybe I'll go back and delete that whole section. Or should I leave that muted section on there because it's funny to look at? Or should I edit it and get rid of it? Your forums, a disclaimer about you need to pay. Oh, I see. You know what? I think it does say that, actually, Stavros. Let's see. On the back of my forums and on my website, I have my disclaimers on the back. I think I might even have that on there. Right here, it says right here. Customer agrees to pay the comic doctor all service fees at the time of submission or within 30 days of submission if instructed by the comic doctor. There you go. It's already in there. It's in the fine print. You know, no one reads that stuff though. My lawyer buddy do all that for me, but no one reads it. But it is certainly there. Yeah. And again, 99% of the people, they just do it. They know, right? They know. And I explain, like I am billed. So guys, I can't carry it myself. I wish I could, but I can't. Michael says, oh wait, sorry. Eggplant says, tiny desks, huge stacks of books. Oh, don't say that. You think so? My God, Eggplant. Oh, I don't even want to see that if that's the case. I don't want to see that. Michael says, the big books, who looks at the big books, who looks at them? The big books are done by all of us, but the big books, I do. You guys want to see something really nice? Hold on. I'll do a what's in the press. Hold on a second. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Before I go, I'll show you a little what's in the press. And Michael will be happy to sharing this. Hold on. Where's my be right back video? Right there. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. All right. So, you know what, guys? 2024, I have seen this book more than I've ever seen it before. It's a massive book. I had my own copy. I sold Frank, who's usually on here, hasn't been in here in a while. Frank ended up picking it up, but right here, this is the first one. This is a lower grade one. Amazing Spider-Man, #1. I've had this for a while. It's Dave's book. And this one has tape on it that I have to remove, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm waiting for a nice day because I'm going to use some chemicals to dissolve the glue of the tape, and I'm going to probably retape it again, but nicer than this. It's kind of ugly, but I'm going to fix up. The staining, unfortunately, is there to stay. But that's the first copy right there. And then this one came from Michael, and Michael's out there right now. This is one of the nicer copies of Spider-Man #1. And I'll zoom in so you can see it because it's really quite beautiful right there. This one here will be getting worked on by yours truly this week. Just haven't had a chance. Mike, I haven't had a chance to get to it. But I will get to it this week. So 2 Amazing Spider-Man #1s, and I have more at the shop. I don't know what's going on with this book, but this book, I have never seen it as often as I have this year. I think I've worked on, like, in the last 6 months, I think I've worked on about 7 of these, maybe more. It's been a really strange year for Amazing Spider-Man #1. So there you go. Yeah. You know, I trust both Lepore and Chaw to work on these books. And sometimes if I'm really swamped, we divvy them up and we work on them. But again, I check every single book that they do. And with myself, the way I do it, it's kind of like when I was in school and I used to do essays and such. I'll work on a book, I'll finish it, I'll put it away, I'll come back to the next day and I'll re-inspect it again. And if there's something I don't like, I go back to it and I kind of go that route. Just like an essay, you know, you finish it and you read it and it sounds good and you go to bed and you hand it in. I don't do that. The best way to do it is to finish it, close it off, come back well rested and check it out. That's kind of how I approach these big books myself. The red pilled vegan says, do you clean and press Wizard magazines? We can. Magazines, guys, I'm going to tell you, magazines are becoming the next frontier. The amount of magazines we're getting now is starting to really pick up. It started with Sports Illustrated. We have regular guys dropping off Sports Illustrated every single month. We're doing, let's just say we got a lot of Sports Illustrated books coming in. Playboy books. We've got probably about 100 Playboy books in queue right now to work on. And Pokemon magazines, Wizard magazines, all that stuff. And they're a pain in the ass to work on. They're so much more difficult than a comic book. The principle's the same, but the paper is different. Every magazine is a different insert. Magazines have different cards they stuff inside. You got to make sure it's a lot of prep work for the magazines, and the paper oftentimes is far more fragile than that of a comic book. But yeah, we do Wizard magazines for sure. Michael says, is there a dollar amount that you are the only one to work on them? Yeah, I mean, you know, when they get to the 5K and up, I like to work on them. But I'll tell you, whose books were they? Whose books did? Oh, okay. It was Eric. Eric submitted a Hulk 181 and Charlo pressed it. Holy cow. My God, that book turned out so freaking good. I am convinced it's going to be, I hate to say, 9496. It's going to be up there. It's going to be up there for sure. Beautiful copy, right? It's a $10,000 book, you know? Yeah, I usually do them myself. But when you get so many books coming in, I'll tell you, and we're seeing a lot of really big books coming in. That's what's wonderful. Which tells me that the market's kind of, it's getting better. People are getting a little more comfortable buying these books again, because there was a while there where we weren't seeing any big dollar books. It was all like, $1,000 and under type thing, right? So, but generally speaking, Michael, if it's a really big book, yeah, I'll work on it myself. The dollar, I don't think it's a dollar necessarily value. It's more the complexity of the book. If the book is really difficult, if it's a tricky book, because sometimes certain books might be a little more tricky to work on than others. But generally speaking, if it's over 5K, I like to work on it myself. And that's okay. I don't mind doing it. I would remove the 30 days part on shipment. I think, did you read it, Stavros? Did you actually go and read it? It says on shipment or up to whatever I say. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. Nucky Futz, how you doing, Nucky Futz? Been a while. Hey, Doc, submitted 20 pre-screen, 9.8s, only 3 rejections, no clean or press. Amazing. Happens, man. You saw my show last week. All those 10 zeros, those weren't pressed. Those weren't pressed or clean. Those are Mike's books. Dropped them off. They look good to me. I said, you know what, man, these are gorgeous. Let's send them the way they are. Bang. Now, he had 3 books I did pull. He had 3 books that I thought these do need to have some attention, but you know, the other, all those tens came back 10 without me doing anything but just packing them and sending them. So that's awesome. But good for you, man. Glad to hear it. No problem. Knucking Futz. What's going on? Looks like maybe 5.5. Oh, the ASM one? I don't know. I'm thinking, I know Mike likes when I say this. I think it's going to come back nicer than a 5.5. This is a pretty book. This is a pretty book, guys. It's a pretty book. Other than this little creasing, this little dog ear down here, she is really, really, really nice. I think it's going to be north of 5.5. I own a 5.5. This is nicer than my 5.5. For sure. For sure. But hey, you never know. Man, makes me jelly seeing these Spider-Man books. Oh, they're out there, Mike. They're out there. They're out there. Yes, I did Stavros, did his ASM one. We did a video on that one too, I think, Stavros. Did we not? Or was it the Daredevil we did a video on? And yours is a nice copy too. Michael says, yeah, we hope so. Hey, Mike. Dave Clark says, Kevin's called to see. Hi, I'm the comic doctor. I spent over $150K annually there, and I need to talk to the head rep there, please. There is no head rep. There's no one to talk to. They don't care, man. I contacted the vice president once because I was pissed off about something, and okay, we'll give you this credit and buzz off. You know, they don't care. They don't care. I remember they were doing that. They had that, CGC school. I think it was before COVID, just after COVID. CGC school, where you could fly down to Sarasota and they would feed you and they would give you like a day of, how to CGC grade. And I'm thinking, wow, for me, it's like, what a great opportunity to go to CGC, meet the people there, go to the facility and learn about their facility so I can come back to my clients and tell them about what to expect and what the inner workings are like. Why would you not want that? So I put my name in for it. I was rejected. I'm like, oh, okay, I was rejected. I thought Nerdy Girl Comics went and all these big YouTuber guys from the States went, and I didn't see any Canadians down there. And, why this guy? Who's this bozo from Oshawa? We're not going to have him there. So, I mean, again, I bring up last summer because I just thought that was I was in Florida. I was ready to drive to Sarasota. No, we can't bring you in here. We have equipment here. We can't let anybody see the equipment we have. Yeah, I'm going to take pictures and take pictures of your equipment and show everybody how you do things at CGC. Unlock all the secrets of CGC and give me a break, man. I thought it was the stupidest thing. Make me your cheerleader, guys. You want a cheerleader. You don't want people to attack you. Stavros, I remember now. Stavros says, remember my copy was a 5.0. You improved it drastically, came back a 5.0 again. Crack, press, regrade. Gonna tell you, most of the time the books do come back higher. Sometimes they come back the same, and sometimes they come back lower, as you see here with this TMNT #1, third printing. But with Stavros, there's actually a video. I think I did a video showing what I did and how the book was improved, but not enough for the grader, apparently. Whoa, David says, that's what I would say. Stavros, do you read the Playboy books before pressing? Be honest. Nucky Futz, how often do you get gift grades like a 9.9? Very rare. I mean, gift grades, a 9.9 or a 10 on modern books is starting to become more the normal. The more it's, oh my God, I can't speak now. It's starting to become the norm. That's what I was trying to say. We start seeing 9.9s and 10s. Watch my video last week. There was a whole bunch of 9.9s and 10s. So on ultra modern books, like the last couple of years, it's pretty frequent. But 9.9s, like say on a TMNT #1 third printing or any book from the 1980s or any book from the 1990s or 60s or 70s, yeah, pretty much never. Gift grades, they don't give me gift grades. I wish. Got to count the pages on the oh, you have to, Bad Hombre. You have to. Jeff Lawford's here, my old university chum. How you doing, Jeff? Good to see you. Kevin. Stavros, yes, you've done a few videos on my books. I have been quiet for a while. Time to start sending stuff to you again. Stavros, anytime. And as you probably know, or maybe you don't know, I'm supposed to be in Montreal this year for Montreal Comic Con. So for any of my Quebec friends or Montreal friends, come on by and see me at the shop at the Montreal Comic Con. I don't know. Roy's coming with me. He's going to set up books to sell. I don't really want to sell books. Maybe I'll bring one or two monster books to sell if I have any at that time. But I'm just going there to advertise the business and to meet people and say hi and just kind of be there. Maybe I'll buy a couple of pieces of art again. In fact, I have to go and buy a piece of art off. I bought a piece of art from the guy at the last Toronto Comic Con. I'm supposed to meet him in Montreal to buy another piece off of him. So I will be there for that. And in case you didn't know, guys, this Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, and Charlo and I and Napur have decided to join in the festivities. If you are in the area, come by and see us on Saturday. Giving out everybody gets a free comic book, and they're not going to be comics you get at the store, because we don't subscribe to new comics. So I'm giving back issues away. So if you want to come by, come on by. I'm trying to get the place to get more books out before then. I'm going to have sales throughout the store. I don't know how full it's going to be. I'm going to try time. I just don't have any time, but I'm going to try my best for Saturday to have more stuff out for all of you. But again, store-wide sales. The dollar bin is going to be 12 for $10, so 12 comics for $10, so under $1 a book. And pressing, if you have any pressing orders you want to bring in, or you're thinking, man, I wish I could bring some pressing orders soon, or you're thinking about ordering, Stavros just mentioned he was thinking of getting some books in. I don't usually give this much off, guys. 15% off this Saturday only. So if you're in the area and you want to bring books by for pressing and cleaning, this Saturday, 15% off your pressing and cleaning. And I'll tell you what, because I feel bad for all my friends out there that are long distance. If you fill out a form on Free Comic Book Day, it has to be on Free Comic Book Day. I'm going to be sticky about that. If the form is filled out on Free Comic Book Day, which is May the 4th, be with you, I'll give you the 15% as well. So Stavros, if you want to fill out a form this Saturday, I'll give you the 15% off, because you're not local and you can't come in. So that's not fair to say no to you guys. And again, to all my long distance friends, even to Stavros and people in Montreal and the other side of Canada, if you want to send your books to me, but oh man, it's so expensive to send the books to the Comic Doctor, I will pay to have you send your books to me, so long as your submission form includes at least 10 exclusive press and cleans. If it contains at least 10 exclusive press and cleans, I will pay to have your books, your raw books, shipped to me. If they're graded already, that might be a little too expensive. But if they're, but I'll tell you what, if they are graded, I'll work with you. I'll work with you. Okay. Anyhow, guys, any more comments before I take off? Is the game over yet? I want to catch the last bit if it isn't. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, Adam's here. Adam, speaking of Spider-Man, have you watched the Spider on YouTube? No, I haven't watched a Spider on YouTube. But check that out. Stavros, you've mentioned wanting to start your own CG. Oh, maybe they think you're trying. No. If I've ever said that, Stavros, I may have had delusions of grandeur. I would no way I'm ever going to start a CGC company. You need millions to start that up. You need millions to start that up. And I don't have millions to start that up. And I'm also 52 years old, guys. I am not wanting to start a multi-faceted giant conglomerate business with, oh God, no. Would I join in with somebody? Maybe, but no way I would. I have a hard enough time running this damn business. Never mind that would be a monster of a business. I don't envy CGC. I think it's a difficult business to be into. What I think is funny about CGC, this quick little bloob, and I'll take off in a sec, but people say, what's my grade, Kev? What's my grade? You mentioned the books are graded. What's my grade? I'm like, yeah, I don't know your grades. I don't know grades until the books are shipped. Once the books leave CGC, then I can check your grade. Why do you think that is? I'm going to ask that question right now. You answer me. Why do you think CGC does not release grades until the books have shipped? Let me know. Oh, Bad Ombre is going to be at the Montreal Comic Con on Friday. Excellent. Well, we'll see you there. Lord Thoth, cool. Really awesome. We'll stop by. Yeah. I'm just going to come to see you. Please do. Please come by and shoot the shit. I don't care. Honestly, guys, when I did Fan Expo last year, I didn't sell a damn thing. And Roy, I shared a booth with Roy from Roy's Paper Heroes. And he said, if you want to put I put a couple of books up, but I went there just to meet people, talk to people, get to know people. That's what I like to do. One of the main reasons I do this, guys, honestly, is I like to talk to people about this kind of stuff. We're all like-minded nerds. Except Jeff's not a nerd. But we all like the same stuff, man. We grew up with this stuff. We love this stuff. We have a passion for this stuff. And in this hobby, there are a lot of scoundrels. And I am not a scoundrel. I am not a crook. But I see a lot of scoundrels, a lot of scumbags out there. And you know what? People need a place to go to do this type of work, and an honest place to go where they're not going to get ripped off. So I just like to go and meet people and talk to people and give advice. If they want to use me, great. If they don't, they want to use somebody else, God bless, whatever. But yeah, it is actually a real fun. Even these video chats where we talk back and forth. It's fun. I enjoy it. I do. Jeff Lawford says, I'll be a silent party. Come on, Jeff. You know nothing about comics. What are you talking about? You haven't even been by my shop yet, man. You haven't even come by my shop to say hello, Jeff. What the hell's up with that? My university roommate. Anime. We don't talk about anime, Jeff. We are comic books. We're old farts who talk about comics. Mike, I'm looking forward to seeing the work you do. Thanks, Mike. Thank you very much. Always like always like working with new people too. You know what I mean? Mike's a new guy too. And Mike, you know what? Mike owns a comic book shop actually out in, oh my God, Mike's Calgary, right? Mike, do you have an online presence? Do you want people to go and buy stuff from you? Can they find you online on Facebook or or anywhere on YouTube or what have you? If so, let us know. Mike sent me a whole bunch of books to work on, and Mike's got a great store in Calgary. But again, I'm not sure if Mike is just like a local comic shop or if he has an online presence. You should give him a holler. Mike's a good dude. All right, guys. I'll wait for Mike to respond. Oh, by the way, no one did answer my question. Why does CGC not give out those grades? I'll tell you why they don't give out those grades. Because when they used to give out those grades, people complain. Oh, don't send my book back, and then they get angry and they would attack the customer service person. So again, remember when I was talking about people who don't want to pay until they get their books back, and it's only 2%. It's a small group of people that ruin it for the rest of us, right? And the same thing with there was a time when CGC, as soon as the books were graded, even before they would ship the books, they'd post the grades, and that was up to about 3 years ago. Then, because of a small group of very vocal yo-yos would call in and yell and scream at customer service because they weren't happy with their grades, the higher up said, okay, that's it. No more releasing the grades until the books ship. And you know what? I kind of agree with them. But it sucks for me because so many times I've called to get grades and I can't get them. They won't give them to me. Once I sweet talked them and they did, but that's a hard thing to do. I can only do so much sweet talking. Adam says, The Spider is a horror version of Spider-Man Origins starring Chandler Riggs from The Walking Dead. It's on YouTube? And is it like a Marvel approved thing, Adam? That sounds friggin' awesome. Complaints, Stavros, exactly. And they were tired of it. They were tired of it. All right, guys, listen, I'm done. I want to go see the game. That's probably already over, but I want to go check it out. Listen, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I hope you have a good free comic book day wherever you're located. Make sure you go to your local comic shop, pick up a couple of free comics, and buy something too. Help those local comic shops out. Buy a little something. Do them that favor. Wherever you're located. Help keep these LCSs in business. I tell you, you got to give them a lot of kudos and respect for bringing in new comic books, because that is an endeavor all on its own. That is something I do not do, and I don't wish to do. I don't want to bring in new books. It's not Marvel approved. I got to check it out. Oh, Mike says, I haven't really put comics online. My online presence is more TCG sports cards. I haven't really seen a good format for listing comics online in an efficient way. Well, Mike, whenever you're ready, you let me know, my friend. We could even do an online sale together if you want sometime on right here on my YouTube channel. And by the way, that's something I'm also planning on doing, is bringing back the online sales right here on YouTube. I did it a few before my dad died. I did about 3 or 4, and most of them were successful. It really has to do with the books that you bring to sell, right? And the prices, of course. But happy to start doing that again too. And Mike, if you are interested in that, we can talk about that later on. All right, guys, that is it for me. Have a great week. Like I said, happy Free Comic Book Day. Happy May the 4th be with you. And I'm getting out of here. And Mike, give the Red Pilled Vegan your Instagram. And that's that. I'm out, guys. Have a fantastic night. Take care. Later.